Hello viewers, welcome to my video on Igcse May-June 2022 pre-release simulated questions. So in this video you shall be learning how to address some of the questions that might come up in your Igcse examination. So without wasting time, before you continue, it's important you subscribe for subsequent videos like this and also click the notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever such videos like this are uploaded. So there can be results for most times. So if you have not actually watched the video on the pre-release material walkthrough, I recommend you to watch the video as well. So it's very important you watch them all, because they are instrumental to you getting to know what we are dealing with here. Okay, all right. So just for us to draw a caveat, all variables, constants, and other identifiers should have meaningful names. So it means that there are meaningful names given to all the variables I've worked with and data structures as well. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a number of registrations correspond to just integer numbers of the registrations to be made before the program starts running. Okay, all right. Question 1. You recorded information for becoming a member of Friends of Civil Peer in task 1. Give 2 data structures that you created for task 1. Is name, data type, and use. Now data structure 1 is first name. Okay, the name of this data structure is an array, and the data type is what? String. Use stores first names of members of Friends of Civil Peer. So when the members have been registered, this is stored. Okay, data type 2, last name. The name is array, the data type is string, and the use it stores last names of members of Friends of Civil Peer. Data structure 3, volunteer options. Okay, as you can see here, it's an array, contains multiple values. Alright, volunteer options. Name, it is an array, data type string. Use stores the 3 areas in which a member of the Friends of Civil Peer can volunteer. Data structure 4, not 2, paid $75. Name, it is an array, data type boolean. No, this is boolean, you take note of that. Use stores a yes or no value as a membership fee payment status for every member of Friends of Civil Peer. Alright. Question 2. Describe the data structures that you have used in task 3 to record the sponsorship details. Include sample data in the description. Alright. Data structure 1, sponsorship names. Sponsor names, and the name is array. Data type string, stores the names of sponsors of Friends of Civil Peer who have made a payment of $200. Okay, now I actually skipped including sample data in the description. Alright, but just to make sure that you guys are aware of what I'm doing, I'll quickly just write something here just for you to know. Alright, so I can have sponsor names, okay, as an array. So I will assign values of John Doe is the first sponsor. The second sponsor is Elon. Huda. Not sure that's somebody's name. Anyways, so this is actually what we have here, as you can see. Okay, so this is just an example of sample data that we can have here. So sorry. Data structures. 2. Sponsor short messages. The name of the array, the name of the data structure is an array. Data type is string. Use stores short messages of all the sponsors of Friends of Civil Pair. So just like I have sponsor names, I can have sponsor short messages and initialize just short messages for them the way I did for this. Okay, so question 3. Describe how you displayed the first name and last name of members whose membership have expired. Now again, if you have not watched the pre-release walkthrough, you make sure you watch the video. Okay, because what I'm doing here is extrapolated from the video. It's extracted from the video. Okay, so for every registered member who have paid, get the date of registration. Count the number of months from the date of registration to the current date. If the number of months exceeds 12, then print the first name and last name of the member. Most of you might actually want to go and cram this whole thing, but mind you that I am not Igcse, and of course these questions are simulated. It's not certain that these questions are going to just come out like they are, but the essence of this is just to give you a guideline on how to get yourselves ready. So you just have to prepare yourselves ahead of time without cramming anything. Is very important. Okay, show the design of your algorithm to display first name and last name of members who have chosen to work at the peers entrance gate using pseudocode, programming statement, or flowchart. Assume that program for task 1 and task 2 are complete. So this is the program, the code that I have used for it, and I have chosen to use a pseudocode. Alright, if area volunteer selection is equal to the peer entrance gate, then output member's name, first name. This is also included in the previous video. Okay, show 2 different sets of members data that you could use to check the validation used in task 1. Explain why you chose each data. Set 1, number of registrations equals 0, -1, 10 TN, 100, 20.5. Reason for this choice is the data type for the number of registration variable is integer that must accept only positive integer that is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, the set test data is to ensure that only integer values greater than or equal to 1 are accepted. So in that case now, this will not be accepted, because why must you even write 0 as the number of registrations you want to make? Why don't you just not do anything, just stay there? And -5, you cannot register -5 people, and TN is not a valid integer value. 100 is a valid integer value. 20.5 is not integer, so you can't register half of a person. Okay, so very, very important that you take note of, all these things. Set 2, want to volunteer. Now we have yes, no, nah, yeah. So recall that we have only 2 values that must be accepted, either yes or no, in this manner. So if you enter na like this and yeah like this in place of yes and na in place of no, then it's not going to be valid. Reason for choice: the want to volunteer variable is of type boolean and can only accept no or yes. If any other value is entered beyond what is expected, then such value will not be validated. Okay. Number 6. Identify at least 3 variables you could have used in task 1. Explain the use of each one of them. This is also extracted from the pre-release walkthrough video, so make sure you watch that too. Want to volunteer is variable 1. Use stores members' input in response to the question of whether or not they would want to volunteer in any of the 3 volunteer options of the organization. The data type is Boolean. Variable 2. Volunteer options index. Use stores an integer value entered by each member during registration. The values range from 0 to 2 inclusive. The value is used to reference the index of volunteer options array, which contain the 3 volunteer options that a user should select from. Variable 3. Count. Use. It is used to store the for loop count of the program. This is count, not counted, please. Okay. Now, variable 4. Number of registrations. It stores an integer input which defines the number of registrations to be made. This variable is necessary for determining the number of times the program has to be looped or repeated. Question 3. Write a program to implement task 1. Your program must allow a user to determine the number of registrations to be made. So this is exactly what we did in walkthrough video when we executed task 1 using the pseudocode method. So this is how it begins. Okay, you have input number of registrations and volunteer options. You assign the values for counts to number of registrations, so whatever you got here -1. Just watch the video on pre-release, then you get to know all this, and you make sure it's actually important you walk yourself through the pre-release material and the questions I raised and the solutions that I attempted. Explain how you should change your program in task 1 to allow a user to register up to 1,000 members. Explanation. Begin a for loop with an initial count of 0. Specify the last loop count as 999. Remember, from 0 to 999 gives you altogether 1,000. Execute the codes within the loop. Example. For count 0 to 999, input first name count, next count. So this is not the only input, the only code instruction within the loop. There are too many of them, so as you could have referred to in the program. So instead of having this whole thing here, okay, you don't actually need this. You just have to make sure that you terminate as 999. All right, at that point. Explain how you should design a program in task 1 so that a user can register any number of members. So exactly what we did over here. So user can register any number of members. All right. So the user defines the number of members to be made, registrations to be made, and of course the program takes care of the rest. So this is actually the explanation. Define a variable that will store integer input from the user. This is how to explain it. This is actually how to explain this. The value of this variable is used to count the loop. Since arrays are 0 indexed, 1 must be subtracted from the value to avoid an out of range error. 10. Identify the programming concepts. you could have used in task 1 and give reasons for choosing them. So programming concept. We have programming concept 1 is counting. Reason, this is used to count the program loop. The count variable is used to enforce the loop count. Alright. Now programming concept 2, selection. It is used to make decisions in the program. The if, then, and if statement is used to enforce this concept. Programming concept 3, iteration or looping. Reason, this is used to repeat a given block of codes a set number of times. For instance, looping is used to print names of registered members of Friends of Civil Peer. The for to next loop enforces looping in my program. Programming concept 4, sequencing. Reason, this concept ensures that my program is executed orderly, line by line. 11. Write an algorithm using pseudocode programming concept or a flowchart to show how your program completes each of the parts in task 2. It is not necessary to show parts completed in task 1. Assume that task 1 is already complete. So I will refer you back to the pre-release walkthrough video so you can see how this is done. Please take note of that. Using pseudocode programming statement, a flowchart, explain how you would complete task 3. Again, I'll refer you to the pre-release walkthrough video. Get over it and make sure that you do the needful. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in our next video. Have a nice time. I wish you all the best in your examinations, and make sure you can repeat your watching of the videos as many times as you like, just to make sure that you internalize fully what has been disclosed here, the information that has been disclosed here. See you next time. Bye.